Hello everyone and welcome to the Enemies Elite, and today let's dive into the Scrambled Eggs arc within the Quintessential Quintuplets manga series. It's time to figure out who is who, as the quintuplets all dress like Itsuki in order to prevent their grandfather from worrying about them, as events in the past transpired in where the quintuplets tried to branch out in their individual styles and their grandfather took it as a worrying sign. The quintuplets were not getting along anymore. Overall, I really did enjoy this arc. It was short yet kind of sweet in his own way, giving our protagonist in Yuzuki a way to develop, as he now needs to better understand those around him. It's only once he's observed the quintuplets, seeing their qualities as individuals and listening to the finer pitches within their tone of voice, can he then truly identify them as they truly are, even if they all take on the same appearance. Now we do get to see Yuzuki understanding the feelings of those around him, if only just a little bit. He's able to pick up on the fact that something is clearly bothering each of the quintuplets, and even manages to hypothesize as to what the reasons could possibly be for some of them. As for Ichika, he understands that something is going on, but is not really able to identify what that could possibly be. However, to us as the audience, the reader, we are able to know that what is bugging Ichika is the fact that she kind of feels like she can't be selfish when it comes to getting the things that she wants. A lesson in which she learns from Yotsuba in this arc, but I'll speak on that in a little bit more later. As well as the fact is, she's kind of pained by the fact that her sisters keep falling in love with Yusuke, and now Nino has joined the list of threats that she has to overcome in order to win Yusuke's heart if she's going to do so in the future. As for Nino, this is obviously due to her love confession. Yusuke kind of hypothesizes that this is somewhat the reason, although again he's still not 100% sure why it would be the reason, but we know that Nino is kind of trying to understand why Yusuke reacted the way that he did. And we know this because she starts asking Ichika for advice, and gets even more kind of encouraged to try and kiss Yusuke after her conversation. But in the end, Nino is interrupted by her father, so she's unable to make the next step within her plan to win over her man. So with Miku's character, Yusuke thinks it's because of the Valentine's Day return gift. After all, Yusuke did not get her a gift to return Miku's feelings. And although I believe that this is somewhat the reason as to why Miku is acting the way that she does, but I think something more is at play here when it comes to Miku's character if we dive deeper into her logic and reasoning. Because after all, we see the fact that she is really happy once Yusuke identifies her correctly while in her Itsuki disguise. Personally, I think Miku is the one out of the quintuplets that is more desperate to be identified for being herself more than anyone else within her sister's group, because she wants her individuality. She wants Yusuke, the guy that she loves, the guy that she has feelings for, to basically see her for who she is and not for what she looks like. So that is something that I really do like, and you can kind of go a bit deeper than that with Miku's character if you even want to when looking at some of the dialogue she has within this arc. Yeah, I mean, Miku's character, she was a bit of an enigma throughout most of it, but I think things became clear as the arc progressed, and I kind of like that with her character. For Yotsuba, her having to wear a disguise is what was clearly bothering her. She does not like wearing disguises. We learned in previous arcs that she's not the best at disguising herself, nor does she enjoy it. So this one was pretty simple to work out, and I guess good job Yusuke for kind of using simple logic when looking at Yotsuba's character for getting your reasoning, but congrats. We'll give you that one. Now, of course, he had to, at the end of the arc, identify who each of the quintuplet was while in their Miku disguise. And this where it goes back to the fact that he has to look at the finer details within each of the character and what their habits and what their traits are like. And we see him actually do this while he struggles to figure out which quintuplet is who. Because he picks up on the things like for the fact that Nino doesn't always wash off her nail varnish when going into her Itsuki form, which ultimately helps Yusuke narrow down the fact who is the fake Itsuki, because he knows it can't be Nino because the Isaki that he spoke with at the start of the arc that told him they can't be student and teacher anymore did not have nail varnish on. So yeah, I mean, we see small progress from Yusuke in that regard. I like the fact that he really wanted to complete the game. He took it seriously, and yes, we know he likes a challenge, and he doesn't like losing. But this felt a little bit more different. It felt like he genuinely wanted to do so, because he knew that in doing so, he would improve himself, as well as improving the relationship between himself and the quintuplets, even though he might not care for that aspect, mostly. Now then, let's cut away from Yusuke and talk about another male character from this franchise, a character that I really don't like very much at the moment, but have kind of gained a small amount of respect for within this arc. I'm of course referring to the quintuplets' father. Rigging the competition so that the girls would be able to see their grandfather once again, as his health is slowly but surely beginning to deteriorate. He understood the fact that the girls would not be able to afford this kind of trip with their own money. Nor would they accept his own money now that the quintuplets have found their own kind of individuality living on their own. So he devised a way to make it so that his daughters would win a prize that they would then go on and believe it was thanks to their own merit they were able to get this holiday trip away. Therefore, giving them an excuse to see their grandfather before his health went into the danger zone, at the same time also thinking it was thanks to their hard work and determination and their luck and everything that they've done to do so, when in reality it was the father orchestrating everything behind the scenes. Even giving Yusuke a winning ticket, although not confirmed, I thought it showed a bit more maturity. As he knows Yusuke probably isn't being paid, and again, he understands that Yusuke would not accept his money directly, so he made it so that the other winning ticket went to Yusuke as well. He must have felt like Yusuke deserved a small amount of compensation for everything he'd managed to achieve and done for his daughters, and for helping them pass their exams. Overall though, he's still an overprotective father that really is out of his depth when it comes to parenthood, but he is making effort to become better, and making effort for his daughters, which I have to appreciate and I have to give props to and respect to. So for that reason, I've gained a positive outlook for this character, even if I still don't like his design, nor do I like some of the actions that he does. But, you know what, he's a bit more positive in my eyes after reading this arc. Let's hope his development keeps up and he learns a bit more moving forward. Now that scene between Yotsuba and Ichika I thought was brilliant, and really helped to push Ichika's character forward, developing her, while also showcasing that Yotsuba can be a very heartwarming and supportive sister towards the quintuplets. We haven't had much interactions between Yotsuba and Ichika within the series thus far. However, as we go on this trip down memory lane, it's Ichika that realizes that she wants to be selfish and not let her sisters get in the way of the things that she wants. Seeing how this newfound mindset reflects her actions from when she was in the past, I thought was really cool. As when the quintuplets were younger, it was Ichika that would take the things that her sisters liked for herself if Ichika wanted it. So I thought that was kind of cool, because it's kind of Ichika saying, no, I want Yusuke, and why should I let any of my sisters have him? Yes, I'm a bit worried that I might not match up to, say, Nino or even Miku's innocence, but that's something I want. He belongs to me if I want it. And that's exactly what she comes to realize, and she starts putting that into action by basically betraying the favor that Nino asks for about keeping the father away, thus allowing the father to catch Nino in the act, and of course allowing Ichika to have that little bit more of a chance at advancing towards our main protagonist. Ding dong, ring the bell, what is that? Love I smell. Hey, ding ding, who's that girl? Get her a wedding ring. That's right, apologies for the bad rhyming, but we now have a plot device that makes us as the reader have to guess who the quintuplet was that rang the bell and tackled Yusuke to the ground. Why is this so important? Well, the legend states that whoever passes through those gates while the bell rings are those who are destined to be together. And while this wasn't something that I overly enjoyed as a concept, it now creates a overhanging question of who was that girl. Personally, I can't see it being Itsuki, even though the quintuplet obviously looked like her. It's just the whole gimmick of looking the same in front of their grandfather. That's the reason as to why they were looking like Itsuki. But I don't think it was her, because she hasn't shown any signs of affection or love towards Yusuke so far throughout this series. And I really do think it would hinder her character a little bit if we are going to start getting some Itsuki romance. I think that would just be unnecessary, considering Itsuki's goal don't really align with any kind of love or Yusuke as a person. And if we're going with the fact that whoever this girl that tackled Yusuke is in fact the future bride, then I don't think it was Ichika, as this was a girl who, her character received a lot of development in this arc, and I feel like it would be a little bit too much to give her that, as well as the penultimate, oh, this person who is also Ichika is going to be the future bride, all in one arc. I feel like that'd be a little bit too overkill for her character. Plus, again, with her career choice, it doesn't really involve Itsuki too much. So, yeah, we can look at another quintuplet now. At first, I thought the idea of Miku running over towards Yusuke and tackling him to the ground, or tackling any grown man to the ground, was complete ridiculousness. However, she does in fact do that earlier on in this arc when Yusuke guesses her correctly. So, it's still in the realms of possibility. Miku could possibly be, but that might just be my bias kind of going in because I am on Team Miku at the moment. So, yay, thumbs up for that one. Nino wanted to kiss Yusuke in this arc, but couldn't because Daddy got in her way. And the girl that ran up to Yusuke and the bell as well wanted to kiss him, but hesitated. So, this could still possibly be Nino. Possibly. Because again, that kiss does give us a bit of a link. We know that Nino wanted to be a bit risque and give him that kiss, but she ultimately couldn't earlier on in the arc. Now she had a chance, she actually did so, but hesitated before doing so. And speaking of kissing him, Yotsuba has done exactly that already. Although that was on the cheek, it still counts. Plus, if you add in the fact that she is energetic and athletic, so she can run long distances and she can tackle any form of man, then, of course, her chances of being that future bride or that girl that rang the bell with Yusuke and kissed him makes her all the more likely to be that person. However, she again hasn't shown much lovey-dovey moments with Yusuke or any signs of affection towards him. So, we're going to have that build-up if we are going to viably see Yotsuba as the future bride to be. Because it'll be way too obvious if they start chucking Yotsuba and Yusuke interaction right in the next arc. If they do that, then that all but confirms it. But then again, hopefully they don't play on that kind of gimmick too much and kind of let it breathe a little bit before they return to it. But I guess only time will tell, and time will be revealed one day when the chapter finally reaches up to the point where they reveal who the bride actually is. But we'll just have to enjoy the series as we go along. Hopefully, we don't kind of get this, oh, who was that girl that kissed him and rang the bell with Yusuke gimmick too much in the future. I mean, I know there was that link with the bride to be in the future, but again, I want it to breathe a little bit. I don't want to revisit this for a long time. Give it about 3 or 4 arcs before we revisit this, and then come back with it with a bit more of a developed cast, and Yusuke kind of actually having feelings for someone, because we now know that Yusuke from this point saw whoever that quintuplet was in a more of a positive and bridal-like kind of vibe and feel. So hopefully we get that later and not straight away. I just want to enjoy the series and enjoy the comedy. I don't want to have this kind of overarching question of who was that girl shoved down my throat all the way through until I get to the final chapter. Nevertheless though, this was an overall good arc, with some good comedy and some nice character interactions and development going on in the process. I want to know what your thoughts are on this arc and everything else down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new for more content from me, and of course, I'll see you next time. Alligator, madane, goodbye.